This is the Bat Flip Podcast. Now here's your host, Damien, David, and Matt. Welcome in everyone to another Quick Flips episode. As you can see, it's not Damien, David, and Matt. It is Damien here with Adam from the College Football Show. What are you doing on the baseball show?
We're talking about baseball, right? Is that what we're doing?
It's weird, right?
They hit the bat?
Yeah.
Okay.
The swinger goes up to the plate and they try and,
The swinger, yeah.
Yeah.
The swinger. Those guys are important.
Exactly. David and Matt are both busy tonight, and I wanted to get a show out for Pete Alonso because it's another big time deal here. Pete Alonso signing with the Baltimore Orioles on a 5-year, $155 million deal. If you add in his $30 million from last year, that's basically a 6-year, $185 million deal too. So Pete Alonso getting some money here, but if we look at our projections our predictions, I should say, from us here, I had Pete going to the Red Sox 5 for $150, so a little bit under this deal. David had him going to the Mariners 4 for $130. Matt had him going to the Red Sox 5 for $130. So it seems like we all kind of undershot the market here a little bit. But the Orioles, after being in, trying to get a bat, they were obviously in the Kyle Schwarber sweepstakes as well. They made a big offer, 5 years, $150. So basically took that same offer here to Pete.
Weirdly enough, I had him to the Orioles for 5 years, $155. So
perfect. You just had a perfect.
Yeah, you missed that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, I didn't have it on the.
What are you doing? Come on.
That must be on the college football sheet. That must be on that one.
Damn it!
No,
I hate when I do
that.
that.
It is. I forgot to look that one. But Adam, obviously Pete's a big time power bat. The Orioles have kind of been lacking that. We saw them trade for Taylor Ward this year, trying to get that right-handed impact bat there. How do you like the fit in Baltimore, especially with that pushback left field fence? Is that going to bring into it? But we also did see Pete make a little bit more contact, kind of switch his approach from just a strictly home run hitter to more contact there.
No, right off the bat, it seems like a great fit. They need a guy who can stay healthy for one. Playing 2 years in a row, not missing a game is absolutely awesome. Yeah, I think he fits that team well. They're a great team that just, hey, stay healthy. You got another great bat. I personally love the fit.
Yeah. So what do you think this means? Because obviously they have a guy like Ryan Mountcastle that has played first base there for a while. Obviously they signed Samuel Basallo to that big time deal. They still have Adley Rutschman. So be interesting. They'll probably do some sort of a DH catcher situation with them. Basallo's long-term projection was first base. Now that obviously you have Pete there for 5 years.
9 more.
So obviously, what do you think we're going to see some sort of a trade with, maybe a Mountcastle? Kobe Mayo even's another one who was getting some time at first base, but now you kind of have Westberg as your third baseman there. You already have a ton of outfielders, so you can't really move him to the outfield. You think we see some sort of a trade here with maybe a starting pitcher or two?
Yeah, no, it's the Orioles. They're going to trade for some more outfielders. No, I love the idea of them getting some starting pitching with this extra. They still got some guys in the minors too that you could that are some good trade bait. Go get some pitching. Yeah. Go get some pitching and be great. This literally going into this last season, a lot of people expected a lot more from them, and I think they can do it. Just trade for some pitching. I think they're golden.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen them linked to Edward Cabrera from the Marlins already. I mean, make another trade with the Marlins after that one. And you had the Kyle Stowers for Trevor Rogers deal that it looked bad until it looked okay this year when Trevor Rogers was good. Mackenzie Gore has been another hot name that they've been linked to. I think those two teams kind of match up really well with some of the pieces that, Washington could use a long-term first baseman. Well, you have Kobe Mayo, right? They could use some other pieces. You kind of have what you need there. Gore has a couple more years left on his deal. We have seen them not. They traded for Corbin Burns, who only had 1 year left on this deal. So be getting 2 years of Mackenzie Gore. So either one of those names, if you had to pick between Edward Cabrera and Mackenzie Gore to go to the Orioles, who would you think would fit better?
Oh man, I'm a Mackenzie Gore stan. I'm just gonna say Mackenzie Gore.
Yeah, big strikeout stuff. Cabrera's good too. He has it, but he hasn't been able to prove that he's been healthy enough. So it's interesting for the Orioles here. Obviously, spending a ton of money, getting a big time right-handed power bat, guy who's hit 264 home runs in his career so far. Spending 7 years with the Mets. I didn't think he was going to leave, or I guess I did because I predicted the Red Sox. But it's hard to per se that Pete Alonso was ever going to leave the Mets. He kind of felt like a Met, but this felt
seems
like
weird, right?
Yeah, this felt like the offseason the split was going to happen.
It's going to look weird to see him in a different jersey.
The colors aren't way too different. He's still going to be in. You're just switching blue for black, but he's still going to wear some orange.
Good point.
Yeah. So we'll probably talk more about the Orioles one on our Monday show, recapping everything that kind of happened here. But let's look at the Mets for a second. You've now lost 2 of your cornerstone players in back-to-back days. You lost Edwin Diaz yesterday to the Dodgers. You've now lost Pete Alonso to the Orioles. What are you going to do as the Mets, right? We saw them sign Devin Williams as a kind of like safeguard if they lost Edwin Diaz. They did. Now they might go sign a Robert Suarez, Pete Fairbanks. Who knows there? You didn't really have a safeguard or if you lost Pete Alonso. Like, I guess you could put Mark Vientos at first base, but do you love that? Not really. So what's the long-term plan here for the Mets? Do you see them going after a guy maybe like Munetaka Murakami to play first base for them, right? It's obviously a Japanese guy come over. He's going to have a ton of power. There's going to be a bunch of swing and miss, but do you maybe harness that in, take a shot with that guy? Or do you go for a guy like Cody Bellinger, play center field, first base, both kind of needs for you? You go Kyle Tucker at the top of the market. Weird with Tucker and Soto, both right fielders. Maybe move Tucker to left field. But it seems like an interesting dynamic. David Stearns is going to do his David Stearns stuff, from Milwaukee, trying to figure out an advantage some way. But out of those guys I named, where do you think is the best fit for the Mets?
Out of curiosity, I'd love to know where you guys. I'll have to look to see where you guys projected that on your sheet. If you guys do have any of them going in the Mets, but Mark.
I have Murakami going to the Mets, 7 years, 140.
Murakami to the Mets makes sense. In the Mets, we know aren't afraid to spend money, and that's what just comes to mind. Even if it's not a long-term option, them throwing some money at Bellinger, he stays in New York, and hey, it makes sense that it can get you. That he can be a bridge guy, or it's Bellinger. Who the hell knows? He could end up just being the best player ever for them. But yeah, both those guys you brought up made sense. I would be shocked if they're not getting one of them.
Yeah, it's going to be weird. There has been some rumblings that maybe they just go out and go to get a Paul Goldschmidt or something, which is so weird. Gross. But this team, if you would have just brought back Pete Alonso and Edwin Diaz, you're still a team that didn't make the playoffs last year. You have to do something. You lost the best closer in baseball, in my opinion. Might be biased because I'm a Dodger fan and Edwin Diaz just went to the Dodgers, but he's arguably the best closer in baseball. Then prolific power hitter from at first base that plays every day for you, like you mentioned. What are you going to do to replace that production? Well, also, you haven't seemed to be willing to put a ton of money into the pitching staff this offseason, right? I think everyone, at least all of us, we thought they were going to get signed some big name pitcher. I forgot who I had it be, but I still thought you going to go get some big time guy, right? And I think mine was Dylan Cease, actually. they haven't shown that they're willing to play in that market. Dylan Cease went to the Blue Jays. Framber Valdez is another one. Now it doesn't seem like he's going to be in their eyes. It's like, well, we might go for Michael King. Okay, well, Michael King is solid, but you kind of need Michael King plus someone else in that rotation. You got to go somewhere. And I just don't see where this Mets team right now is kind of going to go to improve themselves, especially in the AL East where, the Phillies were good last year. The Braves are going to do what they're going to try to do to get better. Like, you're going to have a young team. I mean, the Nationals seem like they're going in a rebuild, but the Marlins were a scrappy team last year that seems like they might want to try and get into that mix, a little bit more.
Great division.
It's a great division, but what are you going to do, right? Steve Cohen, when he came in 5 or 6 years ago, says he wants to be the Dodgers of the East Coast. Well, you're spending the money like the Dodgers, but you haven't had the results that the Dodgers have had. And we already know the clubhouse tensions, apparently. There was a story this offseason about that clubhouse not being great. It seems like you're in a really, really weird kind of timeline right now with that Mets team.
Go spend money. Go spend money.
Throw more money at it.
Just throw more money at the problem. It's the Mets.
Yeah.
Throw more money at the problem. That's what they'll do.
I guess. Anyways, we obviously talked about the Mets there. Just recapping, I think it's a great deal for Pete Alonso going to the Orioles. I think it's a big-time loss for the Mets. I think the Orioles now need to go focus on some pitching, right? You traded Grayson Rodriguez away. You signed Pete Alonso. You traded for Taylor Ward. You need to go get a starting pitcher, at least one, maybe two. Like, if you go trade for Edwin Cabrera or Mackenzie Gore, sign a Ranger Suarez or something like that, now you're cooking. You have a legitimate shot in the AL East, especially if your bats stay healthy. Your bats stay healthy. If Adley can turn it back around. So
it's a nasty team. That would be a nasty team.
It's going to be nasty, but the whole AL East is nasty, right? Like,
except
Yankees,
for the Red Sox.
I mean, you see, the Yankees might be taking a step back, but who knows with the Red Sox? Who knows? They might be making some moves too. So it's going to be very interesting. But thank you guys for tuning in to another Quick Flips episode here with Pete Alonso signing with the Orioles. If there's another one, we will be back for a breaking news episode. If not, we'll be back Monday to recap kind of the workings of the winter meetings and anything that else has happened up to this point. And be sure to tune into the college football show to see more of Adam. That should be going up, I believe, tomorrow morning. We talk about the college football playoff, and Adam is a Notre Dame fan, so that should be a lot of fun. I might also be on there. So be sure to tune into that, and we'll catch us back next Monday for a podcast.
Committee sucks.